Let's see. So what do we got over here on the palette? We got the usual sitting up here, the opaque alley. That's our white, brilliant yellow pale, cadmium yellow light, cadmium yellow deep. You got your Terra Rosa, you got your Fanchon red, you got your cadmium scarlet. That's mostly thinking towards these guys right here. I see we didn't respect the umber. We gotta respect the umber because we got our Van Dyke brown indigo. Now we have our umber sitting over here, like so. You got that's the new black spinel. Actually, I did throw cadmium green light out here just because, well, I have it and I'm going to use it. We got that new, actually, we got a couple of things here. We got the perline black, aka super dark green. You got your olive green over here. You also have Prussian blue, you got asphaltum, even a little bit of Egyptian violet. Might throw out some of the Indian yellow as well. Speaking of Indian yellow, we might have used a little bit of it on this guy. So if you didn't see this thing last night, you might want to go back and check this out. Based it on Thursday, painted it on Friday. So that was really fun. That was a class. Look at that yellow. That's the Indian yellow mixed with some of our lights. And say, hey, Abadu and Cinder. So Ecto has a question. Ecto, the question is always, I am great. The answer is always I am great. Any question is I am great. No, thanks, Abadu. So Ecto, what is the question? What's the question here? Let's get our some of our pre-glaze stuff happening on this guy right here, shall we? And we'll start over here on the base. We'll just start doing some of this. We'll even have our little squeeze bottle over here. Have some of our thinner. Now we're just gonna have to toss in a whole bunch of this. That's okay. How you doing? That's actually a lot of people say it that way, Odzilla. Now, of course, I like to think of it instead as Wappel-luscious instead of Wappelicious, but either one is satisfactory. Either one is satisfactory. I prefer the luscious, but some people prefer the licious. Some people say taters and tatos. I'm glad you're doing good there. That's okay. And Deuce, what is going on? How you doing? Hopefully Saturday is going good. I know there was a whole bunch of ideas you were coming up with last night. Were you able to enact on any of those ideas that you had last night? Because you had a whole bunch of things. You're like, hey, I should do this. Wait, hey, I should do this. So hopefully you had a chance to maybe mess around with some of those ideas. Scooter, actually, it was just suggested that, this is the hottest band in Middle Earth. This is really tall ZZ Top. That's really tall ZZ Top right there. So what I need to do is print out a few more Treebeards, and then we really could have ZZ Top, the hottest band in all of Middle Earth. I think that would work pretty well. Ecto, that's because you're not doing glazes over the top of it. And if you're going to do that, you'll have to somehow incorporate some of the, oh gosh, you'll have to incorporate some of the interference paints in there somehow. Because you're going to run into the same thing that happens with the acrylic stuff. That's why we do it with the oils, right? Because you can actually just paint the darker color over instead of doing washes and glazes. So if you go back and watch a lot of the things that I did with the interference paints and such, yeah, we're not actually doing just like this Van Dyke brown over it. It's gonna kill it just the same way it would with acrylics. Which again, that's why we're sometimes with the metallics you have to almost take the light over dark approach there with the TMM on the oils. So hopefully that's helpful. But yeah, you can try to get, say, the interference paints into maybe your Van Dyke brown. You throw a little bit of the, I don't know, interference gold or something like that in there. Now you're still building the Terminators. Other minis are primed and waiting. So it's going to be a nice oil festival. And Ryder in the house. Oh yeah, bark guitars. Yes. Well, they wouldn't be made out of wood, would they? I don't think they'd be walking around with wooden guitars. That would, yeah, I don't think so. That would be not cool right there, wouldn't it? I'm glad that you're doing well, at least a little bit better there, Ryder. Hopefully, it won't be too long before you have your freedom back. Tree stumps for drums. There. See, Scooter knows. Scooter knows all about that. There's Wait a minute. Here's some of these guys. There's some of the groupies right there. There's some of the tree stumps right there. So Angry Ham, how you doing? Valfera, nice to see you. Actually, no, Valfera. This is 4:30 is pretty much the normal time for Saturday these days. I would like it to be, say 4 or 4:15, but 4:30, that's pretty much been the time for the last month or so. No party kill for Angry Ham today. So Ecto, yeah, you're not going to be able to just do a dark wash over the metallic oils because you're going to get the same result that you would with the acrylics there. It's metallics are metallics. That's their disadvantage for sure. As we welcome in Drippins as well and Brush Panda. How you doing there, Brush Panda? Nice to see you again. Valfera, I saw your that is one gigantic miniature. I saw your Insta post on that. I don't know, at 6 o'clock in the morning or something like that. So that is one giant print right there. Nixa, we already finished 3 of these. Yeah, I mean, well, it's 10 minutes in. You wouldn't think I'd still be painting on the first one. I mean, we're 10 minutes in here. What's going on? I mean, wow, we've only one Treebeard in 10 minutes. Come on, we painted 3. You just clearly you must have missed it. I guess maybe you got some lag or something like that over there on your end, because yeah, we've done 3 of these already. Now I'm just taking now here, because this is some very rough absorbent stuff. This is the tree bark, obviously. We got to throw a little bit more thinner in there than maybe we otherwise might. Nico, how are you doing? All right, well, Nico, you have a good night's sleep. Nico, I have a feeling we'll still be doing this when you wake up. So I will say see you later, because we'll probably see you later, because this is the Saturday session. Here, let's just move some of these guys out of the way here. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, checking out the Etsy there. Writer, I don't. I don't know what that. I don't know anything about. So, I can get you a whatchamacallit, a VIP badge, but that's all I can do. I don't have any control over badges. That's not something I have control over of. Looks like Nico did your first one. So Nico, I hope that it was fun. Yeah, Ryder, I have no control over that stuff. That is not all I can do. Is I can make somebody a moderator or a VIP, and I try to do that when I can. But sadly, I don't have the people's screen names up there in any kind of a list. I would have to just memorize them. So Nixel, hopefully, though, have you I guess you've been playing a lot of your whatchamacallit there, the Valheim. That's it, playing a lot of the Valheim. Now we're gonna be using a lot of our Perline black here, especially on the beard, right? Especially on the beard right here. gonna maybe use some of the olive green. Now the olive green doesn't stain or anything like that. That's why we'll maybe try and use the perline black, because we know that has some staining properties for sure. So Nico, yeah, you'll have to send me a picture of your first oil painted miniature there so I can get a look-see at it. I'm hoping that it was fun too. Sometimes it's not always easy the first time around. Look, now we're getting some of our, that's a little bit of our umber in here, just changing up the colors. It's all going to look very much dark, but once we start wiping the paint away, it's going to be a lot like the, where's our, here we go. It's going to be an awful lot like this, where we have all kinds of different colors underway. Inkanis and Quees, how you doing? Nice to see both of you. I hope that you're both doing good. Here, let's bring in a bit more of our dark color, especially in some of these recesses. We're going to go back to that olive green again. Just let it mix with the black spinel to get a little different type of black in there. Now back to our burnt umber again. Now to the Van Dyke brown. All these different browns. And oh wait, let's get a little bit of indigo in there too. Why not? Also for some darker tones here. And then we'll have fun wiping this away. I think it's going to be a... Ooh, that's what we haven't put in there yet. Some Terra Rosa. Let's get some Terra Rosa in here. Especially along here. Let's see. Oh, that's good, Velfira. Let's try to get her finished up. And on to the next project. Now, is the next one going to be also more of the large-scale stuff, too? Let's get away from... You don't want to get too much into the Terra Rosa. A little bit's okay. A little bit is all right. Not going as much with the thinner as maybe other occasions, because, well, if this was 3D printed, I might be more tempted to go with a little bit more of the thinner because it's a more absorbent surface. However, as we know, well, plastic, not so absorbent. Doesn't matter if it's got primer on it or not. If it's metal, not absorbent. Plastic, not absorbent. Casting resin, somewhat absorbent. 3D printing resin, that's fairly absorbent stuff. Queez is having a nice relaxing Saturday. Hopefully you are too, Nganes. Hopefully you're having a good one as well. So this is a bit of the olive green here. On to some of that black spinel here. Because remember, once we start hitting this with our lighter colors, everything starts to change. Let's see. So Shrine, we've done red many times. And it all depends. Do you want a warmer cloak, a cooler cloak? So if you're using Fanchon red or something like that, that's going to be much brighter, much more reddish type of a thing. If you want something that is cooler, well, maybe you do even something like purple matter. And then it depends, are you going to be putting, what are you going to put over the top of that? Or for your shadows, are you going to want almost a dark green color in the shadows? So it kind of will depend on what sort of red you're looking for. And I know that's not any kind of a precise answer, but that's kind of how it is. Because, yeah, it will depend what type of a red that you're looking for. Also, it depends on if you have Fanchon red. So you may not have that. And if you don't have that, then it doesn't mean starting with Fanchon red wouldn't mean a whole bunch. But you could even start the pre-glaze with something like green. It wouldn't matter, because then you could paint your lighter reds over the top of it, and then you would already have your dark green shadows. So I've even used indigo blue. I've used Egyptian violet. You could use something like that to start out your red for a cloak or something like that. There's a lot of options. All right, Inganes. Well, we're only just starting here. We're only 18 minutes in. Just 18 minutes in, so we'll still be going here unless something really weird happens. We will still be going here when you get back. Yeah, Shrine. I know that wasn't like a super precise do this or do that kind of answer, but those are the kind of answers that are gonna happen when for stuff like that, because there's a lot of different options. I mean, just like here, I've probably used about a dozen different colors on this thing. It may not look like it. It may not look like it, but yeah, now we just threw in some more indigo over here. Now we're going to throw in some more indigo over here. It may not look like it right now. And if you go back and watch this, the pre-glaze on this was very different. We didn't use any yellow in the pre-glaze here either. We didn't use any. We kind of sort of after wiping away a bunch of the pre-glaze, we almost did a second pre-glaze with some of the Indian yellow, but that's more because of how that color works. It's a very unusual color for sure. No problem, Stroin. No problem. And I do have several sessions. You can even look on the YouTube channel there. I think there's definitely some stuff that has red cloaks on it. In fact, I'm trying to think. There was a couple of things. Yeah, there's a couple of things not all that long ago that we had the red cloaks on those. Hey, Gary, how you doing?
Hello, little hobbit. Spark my ganja.
Thank you so much, Mike Jeezy. I appreciate it. Hello, little hobbit. Oh, don't be hasty. Well, I'm fast Gandalf. I'm always hasty. So thank you very much for that follow. That is appreciated. Total 420. Sadly, no chocolate milk here. I wish there was. But, yeah, there's no hot chocolate in the house. We could have fortified that hot chocolate. We do have the stuff to fortify it, but we did not have any hot chocolate to work with. Now, there is Ryder doing the thing with the bits. Thank you very much. Here, let me just, I'll get you a salute in just a second there. Because we got our hands full of Treebeard. So thank you very much, Ryder. That is appreciated. Lady Hussar is back. So Lady Hussar, I'm glad to see you back. Yeah, actually, we were just starting to realize that potentially, if I print out a few more of the Loot Studios treants here, we could literally have ZZ Top. We could have ZZ. Now, of course, we'd have to paint their beards white. We could sculpt sunglasses on them, which that would be somewhat hilarious to see some Treebeards with sunglasses. So, Ryder, is this one of those weekends where they let you maybe have a walk outside, or at least be outside, or anything like that? Because I think there was what was it, about a few minutes they let you outside there. So hopefully that might be something you get to do this weekend too. But there's a lot of these crazy leaves. So this thing took about 2.5 hours to put together. And we're using that Perline black, so that's got the green in it there. I'm just going to use a little bit of the thinner there just to get this stuff to cover a little easier here. Hey, Oliver Ghost, nice to see you again. I think we're almost covered with this here. Almost there. I think, nope, I see a couple of more areas. I'm not surprised, just given how many crazy surfaces there are on our Treebeard here. Yeah, we have to get some more of these on the back. Let me just make sure that this all has some stuff going here. All right. Makeup sponge time. Actually, I might just snap a quick picture here just in case we get to maybe make a special YouTube video out of this here. 1 second. Let's see. Let's see. Oliver Ghost. Oh, I think we're all caught up there. 1 second here. All right, that's better. Turn that light off. I'll start down here to get some of this paint out of the way. And see how much of that stays behind, especially on the more absorbent surfaces like our tree branch, which is an actual stick, not a plastic stick, not a faux stick. So Lady Hussar, we will also be working on our done landings too. So that's going to be, of course, the drug enforcement agents of Middle Earth. They're here to set fire to all the ganja. Of course, you know, starting with Rohan. Yeah, set that Rohan aflame. Ecto, so we'll get you a book of Wappel in just a second. And I think, well, we'll start with one that's very appropriate here. I think we found it yesterday. I think, was it here? Yeah, there we go. Went right to it. Things must be messy before they can be neat. And this is the messy stage, right? And how many times do we talk about this? There's no such thing as a perfect miniature. You're never going to do one. And as soon as you do one, well, there's no point in painting any more miniatures. And, well, just like this, Theory Hammer doesn't work with dice any better than it works with paint. You can say, well, I should roll this and should roll that 27 consecutive ones in a row. Your theory is kind of, well, squashed. And we've got here a couple of more. Here, let's go to some of our later ones. We haven't gotten to this in a while. And this will be kind of important here too. Okay, with our done landings, it's going to be more obvious. With that Orc Deathcopter, more obvious. Here, less obvious, more important. Actually, the less obvious it is, the more important it's going to be. Now, we're not going to have any metal surfaces here, but we'll bring our Orc back out here. And you can bet that even on this, we're still trying to reflect some of the surroundings there, even on this Orca. So this is what we painted yesterday, or last night. Go back and check this out. We did the base on Thursday, and yes, those are just STL supports. And I was curing some more of those today. So yeah, Valfera, this is the actual Treebeard. This is the Loot Studios Treant over here. Now, I did reduce this. As it turns out, it was practically the same size as Treebeard. The beard is different, but I hadn't seen this one yet. I just printed this one out blind. I had not seen the actual Treebeard yet. So Nosferatu, how you doing? Folks, be sure to give Nosferatu a follow, because, well, actually, Nosferatu, you still got your super early in the morning stream tomorrow, right? Your 6 a.m. Central stream? At least I think it's 6 a.m. Central. Yep, Lady Hussar, they are bits of makeup sponges. So here's the original sponge. I used to use them like this until I realized that, first of all, it's too big to get in most of the areas I needed to go into. Second of all, I'm using a ton more sponges. And third, I get a lot less on me because, as you can see, once I still have a little open space where my fingers were there. So, and we can see we got little, different sizes for maybe getting into different areas right here. Like so. And we got even smaller ones here. Look at this. We got even smaller ones for maybe getting down inside there or over there. That's just kind of the advantage of slicing those up. Well, several advantages. I think now you can see, look at that, there's green here. See, it's more red over there. This is where we put the Terra Rosa. This is where we had the Perline Black right here. So 6 Central Time. So Nosferatu, yeah, that orc was a lot of fun. That really, it was fun making the base. Definitely fun making the base. You see all the bits of concrete that are getting blasted away from the wall right there, and then using the STL. So I have like so much of that those supports sitting around. Really nice to take advantage of those. So Mike, I think that was maybe the 75 millimeter one that I reduced, because I know they have everything. Well, the 32 millimeter stuff can sometimes tend to be tiny, like really tiny. It's been a while since I printed him out. I'd have to look at the files again, but I think I reduced the 72 mil because I brought it up on screen. No, I think it was the 32, because well, now I know to ignore the message when it says the file is too big. Do you wish to resize it? Now I realize that it just kind of, for whatever reason, says that, and it doesn't actually mean it. It's just joshing with you. Oh, thanks, Angry Ham. Thanks, Oliver. I found, well, I was trying to clear some things away so that I could do some home repair stuff, which I still haven't gotten a chance to do yet. And I just suddenly saw that box of stuff of 4 or 5 Deffcopters. There's at least 4 in there, maybe 5, and a whole bunch of other orcs that are all prepped and ready to go. Actually, some of them are on bases. I'm just going to have to rip those things off of those because they're the old 25 mil bases. And then I'm going to have to either print out some 32 mils or find some 32 mils or whatever. I know that, whatchamacallit, is it Gale Force 9? They have their, what I would normally be doing, probably this weekend, I think, is Little Wars. I'd be getting a whole gigantic Chinese food container filled with the MDF stuff. Frozen Toes, how you doing? Yeah, so that must have been the 32, and I'm pretty sure that I reduced the size of it. Because again, I hadn't seen the actual Treebeard yet, so I had no idea what size to actually print him out. I think all I did was, well, I knew he had to go on a 60 millimeter base. So I think what I did is I just measured out 60 millimeters of his footprint and said, okay, does he fit in that footprint? Which he does. So I guess I measured pretty well, because he fits in the footprint of a 60 millimeter base.
Hello, little hobbits. Spark my gun.
Thank you so much, Evil Lunatic. That is appreciated. Hello, little hobbits. Hey, where's the hobbits? I don't know. They look like 2 little orcs to me. You didn't smash them, did you? I don't know. Hey, have you seen the Entwives? Nope. Hey, Bitron, how you doing? Nice to see you again. Yeah, we're gonna be hitting it at this one Treebeard here, and then going back to some of our done lendings, setting fire to that ganja again. So the more of this we take away, the less paint we're gonna have on here, and it will, well, it dries faster, right? Less paint, faster drying. Not that we're trying to make things dry faster. We're not using any kind of weird drying agents or anything like that. Just looking to do things nice and easy here, and then we'll come over the top of this with some of our later colors. So now that we have done this, we're going to do another quick picture here. Let's get you out of the way. Thanks, Evil Lunatic. Yeah, here we go. The oils are just so much fun, so chill to work with, and of course it's just so easy to do things like this, and even things like the orc. So thank you very much for following here too. Bitron's getting back to painting. So Frozen Toes, I hope that you've had a decent day today so far. All right, we didn't get to use any of our brilliant yellow pale. And yes, when we talk about dry brush, we are not kidding about dry brushes. Very dry. Well, it's mixing though. As dry as that is, still mixing. And here we can even throw in a little bit of the cadmium yellow deep there, just to change things up a bit. See, that's mixing in there too. And as we start moving this around, it's going to take on, see, it's starting to turn green. Why? Because the perline black is there, and, well, guess what? That's got some green in it, as in a fair amount of green. So we got the little funguses here on Treebeard's face. Let's see, for a blue chaos spawn. Oh, thanks, Nosferatu. I think you can't go wrong with some Phthalo. Of course, Prussian blue is what I use now. Don't use the Phthalo blue anymore, but you can't go wrong with a little bit of Phthalo blue. Now, let's see, if you're looking for some, you might also maybe even throw a little bit of, I don't know if you have cobalt blue in there, but maybe something like that too. Obviously, the phthalo blue, as you already know, you've used the oils enough that the phthalo blue is definitely going to have way more staining power. Here, I'm going to actually throw a little bit of the cadmium green light into here. Just a smidge of that. Frozen Toes, it's been a very high octane Saturday so far. I was trying to put together build plates, trying to do about 20 other things, trying to make some posts and stuff, and lots of messages and everything. Now, definitely been a very crazy day so far. So hopefully that helps Nosferatu. But I don't know if you have any other types of blue or not. You know what we're going to do? We're actually going to take some of that Terra Rosa. Let the white get mixed in there. It's almost a bit of a, well, almost a bit of a skin tone color there. Well, as you can see, how it practically disappears on my hand. It's very much that dry brush. Look at how light the grip is on the brush. No death grip on the brush, right? So if you want to see the basing on this and on the orc, Def Comp to there, you just have to head back to the Thursday session. I'll try to see if I can't break up some of the basing session into a couple of separate things like here, because the first part of the basing session was doing this stuff, right, with all the Armored Wolf grass tufts and the Wicked Elf miniatures, leaf or vellum foliage there. Lots of fun stuff with that. Let me see. It's going to be a zine stamp, so the upper layers should be bright blues like a cobalt teal. Oh, actually, yeah, Nosferatu, you could conceivably even throw in a little bit of, tiny bit of phthalo green with your phthalo blue, and that's going to get you, that'll get you some pretty intense teal colors for sure. No doubt about that. For a last minute corrupted Phoenix model, Tiamat did not anywhere near ready. Well, Brush Panda, I'm glad that, well, glad to save the deadlines. Glad to save that deadlines are never fun, right? And I wish you luck in the contest there too. Glad that you were able to get that done on time. Just in the nick of time. Hey, actually, Armored Wolf. I wonder if they put a snail in Treebeard's beard here. I think they might have actually thrown a snail in there. Which, just Armored Wolf being the master of sculpting tiny snails, and I mean very tiny snails. We're talking microscopically tiny, which sadly, when you look at the miniatures, it's hard to even photograph those guys, unless you're just like specifically photographing the little snails and all the fun little things that Armored Wolf sculpts on all of his miniature bases. So yeah, Nosferatu, a little bit of the phthalo green there, because even here, now that's got the mostly Prussian blue there, but there was Actually, I think I threw in a little bit of cobalt there to try and get it more towards the red. Now, what I'm looking for, where did you go? Ah, you're over here. That's mostly Prussian blue right there. So I really do enjoy the Prussian blue, and that was pretty much Prussian blue, and then indigo was the darker color. So that I think I pre-glazed with mostly Prussian blue and a little bit of indigo on that Thousand Suns right there. Well, on the entire unit, because that's I think that was Army Painting Series 23. That's right, 24. That was our whatchamacallit guys here. Let's get a little different tone in here. That's going to be the umber mixed with some of our white. Almost more of a pinkish tone here again. Oh, you had to frantically downscale that Phoenix before printing it. Is there Orc Zoologist here? Hey, Orc Zoologist, how you doing? Orc Zoologist, there was about a dozen different colors that we used. There was, in some areas, like here, was a lot of the Perline Black. There was actually Terra Rosa over here, Van Dyke Brown, Asphaltum, Indigo, Black, Olive Green in some places. Which is why we're getting all these different colors in here, because the pre-glaze was many different colors. It's like Saruman. It's a pre-glaze of many colors. Yeah, we can see the green showing through over here too. That's pretty fun. Yeah, let's get some lighter stuff on the leaves here. Then we're gonna maybe throw a couple little glazes over those guys later too. Not right away. Make sure we do that later. We'll also be throwing a lot of foliage on him on the base, but that's going to have to happen later. To make sure we actually come back in here with, we're going to come back with some of our darker colors. Van Dyke Brown especially, maybe. A little bit of the umber too, and that'll be very much a dry brush again. Maybe even on the ends of his fingers. It don't always have to... The ends of things don't always have to be lighter. Sometimes the ends of things can be darker. Sometimes it's more fun that way. Just like here on that bark. It doesn't always have to be light at the very end of that. Same thing here. Maybe even darken those up just a smidge here and there. Nosferatu, that Egyptian violet is just... Everybody that has gotten it, they marvel at it. And the ones that have both the Egyptian violet and the diazonine, they all say there's really no comparison to the two. It's the magic of Williamsburg. That's what it is. And I'm just hitting some darker tones in here again, but we'll be throwing a fair amount of foliage and flock on Treebeard as well. So, but this is where we're doing the same thing. We did this, if you remember, right over here. We did the same thing. It was very much a dry brush there on that base. Here, let's see if we can get a better grip on that. We did that over here wherever we had some of the soot and scorching effects, right? We did the same thing there. Let's see. Yeah, there is no Egyptian violet except Egyptian violet. I mean, that is a truism. That's why it's even in the Book of Wappel. There's Egyptian violet. Everything else is just purple. And that's pretty much how it is. Now here, we're going to get ourselves a much brighter green. That's our Prussian blue, some of our cadmium green light, and we'll just start to get a little bit of greenery on him here. Now I see there's still some more open areas here that didn't get even some pre-glaze. But even here, you can see it. Look at how dark that brush is. It's mixing. Boy, I can see it when I come back over here and try to get some fresh stuff. It really does pick up that existing pre-glaze. Even when it's been wiped away, it's still going to be there. Yeah, been able to make use of the Naples yellow. I know a couple of folks that haven't been able to get the Williamsburg Brilliant Yellow Pale. That's kind of been their alternative there, so I'm glad that that's working for you. Welsh Gamer Guy, how are you doing? And Welsh Gamer Guy has some of the Rohan. Well, that's Welsh Gamer Guy has called out the Rohirrim. But tonight, what are we going to be painting? What are we painting tonight as well as Treebeard, the anti-Rohirrim? Yeah, look at that. Anti-Rohirrim setting Rohan on fire, baby. You think we're joking? You think we're joking. We are not. We're not playing around here, baby. No siree. Rohan in flames. Yeah, look at that. Wolves of Isengard and Dunlendings. Boom. Say goodnight to the fourth. So this is actually this is the latest video that I did right here. That was one of those Loot Studios miniatures. Man, that was very fun. Looks like Orc Zoologist is able to get the blueberry look. Get the blueberry look on his fingers for days with the Old Hollands. Yeah, Orc Zoologist, I haven't had a chance to snag any of the Old Hollands yet. That's just going to have to wait for a month or two before I can maybe try one or two of those guys. See, look at this. So that bright green, it starts to get toned down as I pull some of the pre-glaze into that. Now, what I might also do here, let me see if I can do, yeah, okay. Since we're starting to get into specific areas here, look what I'm doing. Look at that. Taking that, what's left of that green. Look what we're doing. Yeah. We're starting to dry brush that over his bark right there. So Kendon, how are you doing? Nice to see you again. Grumdy, that Egyptian Vow it's just crazy, right? I seriously, all kidding aside, everything else is just violet or just purple by comparison. It is amazing the intensity of that. And let's see, what series is that? That's a series 5. Okay, so that makes it a little bit pricier. Are these also series? No, those are only series 4, so it is going to be a little bit pricier. Now, it's not Quinacridone Golden Brown, which is like series 57, of course, and then there's Yin Min Blue, of course, which is like series 700. Kendon, well, I guess you didn't, that's right, I don't think you were able to catch the orc. So Thursday, we based the Def Copta, and then yesterday, or last night, we painted him up. And that was a lot with the Indian Yellow. That's kind of been Indian Yellow week here, because we did this video, and that was with the Indian Yellow. So Imperial Fist players out there, Indian Yellow could be, well, oils are going to be your friend no matter what. But the Indian Yellow could really be a handy thing for you, let me tell you. Here, how's about we're going to get some of this green into his beard, like that. Hey, Mr. Fattest Cat, how you doing? So yeah, we're potentially now. If we, of course, if we had a few more of the Treons printed out here, if we had about 2 more of these, we would really have ZZ Top. Yeah, we'd have ourselves ZZ Top. Nosferatu, everybody makes an Indian Yellow. Now, I got the Williamsburg version right here, mostly because I get to see the actual paint on the cover. Now, it is super translucent. It is massively translucent. It doesn't cover anything, but it stains everything. Ooh, there we go. There's a good one. Indian Yellow doesn't cover anything, but it stains everything. That should be in the Book of Wappel. There's a new chapter right there. Look at that. New chapter of the Book of Wappel live on stream right there. Now, you add something like a Brilliant Yellow Pale to it, well, now all of a sudden it changes everything. But it will dramatically affect every color that it touches. It's really bizarre. I recommend that you actually start out with it and then dry brush other colors over the top of it. That's sort of my recommendation for it there. Working some green here into Treebeard's face. And we're going to have a couple of different types of greens here, some cooler greens, some warmer greens. Here, let's do a cooler green version of that now. Thanks, Armored Wolf. Yeah, Deuce, it has the staining power. You saw it in the pre-glaze too, right, Deuce? You saw that even in the pre-glaze, well, especially on that one video that I did. Oh no, it was with the. Were we actually working on the done lendings with that stuff too? It was a Twitch session, and we were screwing. Oh, I know what it was. It was this guy. Yes, I think that was the first official use of it. Right there was on this guy. That was where we first used it. I think it was also the same with the Perline Black, right? I think that was the first time we used the Perline Black as well. To get more of this cooler green here. We're going to go even cooler with it. Yeah, it's almost a greenish gray right there. Ooh, there we go. That's good. That's good. Let's get to... Oh, we got some shelf moss over here. I know that's probably not the actual name of it, but that's what I call it. And that's all that matters. That's all I care about. That's what I call it. That's what it is. Just pulling out some more of this dark here, but again, a little bit of this very much grayish green here. A couple of more leaves. We'll use our lighter, warmer. Wow, there's not a couple of more. There's a bunch more leaves. Holy smokes. I mean, yeah, I only just put this thing together a couple days ago, but I didn't realize just how many leaves there were on this. There's a ton of leaves. Brush Panda, it's actually it's something that I was thinking about. The next thing I want to try it with and see what happens is with the interference paints. Because typically interference paints or interference powders for that matter and light colors don't really go together. They don't really do much. But Indian yellow could be the one caveat to that. So that is another thing that I will try to experiment with. Mix in the gold interference powders with Indian yellow and some linseed oil maybe just to see what the heck happens. Ah, boy, Orc Zoologist, you know, where the heck did that go? I have this Perline Red. I've only ever used it in some color charts. I might have to try this in some other way to see what use it could be, because it just, I haven't really found a use for the Perline Red yet, sadly. Maybe there'll be something along the line that kind of reveals itself as far as a possible usage for it. I've had it for quite a while, actually. But it just, I used it a couple of times and it really didn't do as much as I had hoped. Now, maybe that and some Indian yellow. Wow, well, that, anything in Indian yellow is holy smokes. But we might have to try that out and see what's going on. Boy, Brush Panda, I'd be really curious to see the interference red, the interference blue, the interference green. Heck, I'd be curious to see the interference violet. See what kind of amber color it might turn, because it might do that. It might turn amber with the interference gold or interference violet and the Indian yellow together. I think you could see the little leafies here. They're starting to stand out. I mean, it takes forever, doesn't it? I mean, ugh, it's 52 minutes in. Holy smokes, what's taking so long here? What's taken so long on a gigantic Treebeard miniature that it's already taken nearly an hour to have leaves looking like leaves. What's going on here? Don't be hasty, little hobbit. Don't be hasty. Also, don't get that close to the camera or else you'll be really out of focus. Orc zoologist typically, believe it or not, Indian yellow resides in between Prussian blue and Perline black. That is a very dangerous place. That is like 1939 sitting between Soviet Union and Germany right there. That's some dangerous real estate in between Prussian blue and Perline black. Those are two very stout colors. Now, of course, I think it was last night we determined that Prussian blue is a very aggressive color. It's looking to conquer areas of the palette, whereas Indian yellow is just looking to blend together with other colors. So it's very much the diplomatic color. It's looking to forge alliances with other colors. Either that, it's looking to just take them over from the inside out. It might be a very different way of conquest than, say, Prussian blue has. Thank you so much, Frozen Toes. Actually, I could use me some of this right now. So thanks very much, Frozen Toes. We'll give you some... Ooh, look at that. Just in time as it bounces off the edge. Yeah, Orc Zoologist. It's a hazardous place to be. Nosferatu, thank you so much for a wee bit of a Blitzkrieg right there. That's appreciated too. Because don't mind me a little extra sip of that for sure.
Hello, little hobbits. Spark my ganja.
And thank you very much, Silver Templars, for the follow. That's appreciated. And Gandalf's just gonna stroll on up here. Again, like, see the hobbits yet? He's like, no. I saw a couple of little orcs. Did you step on them? It's like, might have. He says, uh-oh. He's like, oh, that's what's between my toes. Boy, that's some unfortunate things for the hobbitses right there. Very unfortunate. Like, dude, Matt, watch where you're stepping. Watch where you're stepping. He's like, hey, don't throw those rocks at me. So there's your little hobbitses right there. I do actually have the two hobbitses that go in his branches up there. We have those guys. They're a little bit too small for painting on stream, so... Which is interesting, just given how Treebeard's size makes him a little bit interesting to paint on stream as well, as far as getting him to fit on here easily. Let's change the... let's change this around to something that's maybe a bit of a cooler green here. So we're getting some Prussian blue in here. So this is Prussian green, essentially, right here. A little bit of Prussian green. As in a bit of our cadmium yellow mixed with a little bit of our Prussian blue. I think we can maybe go even a bit lighter here with some of our greens here. Let's grab a little bit more of that brilliant yellow pale. See what happens here. And then we might come back in on a couple of the leaves and do some darker glazes, maybe with some olive green, something that's a little bit warmer in some of the shadow areas too. So yeah, that Prussian blue that's a very aggressive color, no doubt about it. It wiped out Prussian or phthalo blue and cerulean blue all at once, all at the same time. Who knows? Maybe if they weren't occupying that same part of the palette, they might still be around. But then there was some folks that were already thinking that, I don't know, maybe Prussian blue is actually Prussian yellow is actually Indian yellow in disguise. Xanopocalypse here. Let's make sure we have this. Do we actually have a hype train going? Okay, so we're 19% to a level 1. All right, I'm thinking, wait a minute. That was pretty fast to a hype train. So thank you very much, Xanopocalypse. Boy, I have to say, thank you very much. Well, Right now, the Perline Black is definitely a fave. I would have to say either Indigo, Prussian Blue. Ah, there we go. Here, Nosferatu, thank you so much. I'm going to say that that is a definite level 1 there. What does that mean? He's like, uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh. What does that mean? That means Hype Train. That means Hype Train coming through, right through the forest. Right through the forest. Yes, yes indeed there. Just piling right through the forest. Where's our, there you go. There's our other one here. Let's just have that one handy too. So thank you very much, Nosferatu. Ben, this is a...
So say we all.
Oh, and thank you so much, Xanopocalypse, for that follow. So it's a new palette. So all colors are all basically the same as yesterday. Now, there's a couple of colors down there that are new. There's a few newer colors on there. Like the cadmium scarlet over here, mostly because with the done lendings, we're going to be doing some of our object source lighting with that.
Hello, little hobbits. Spark my ganja.
And thanks, and Sip Storm, and Deuce. Thank you very much, Deuce. Here, let's do this again because we have ourselves a level 2. That's a level 2 Hype Train. It's coming at you. Right there. Whomp. Hype Train. There we go, Hype Train. Is that a level 3? I think that's a level 3. We'll keep going here. He's like, uh-oh. Where's Gandalf? There's the Hype Train coming right through. Right into the screen. There it is. Thank you so much. And Dark Dan again. Thanks, and Silver Templars. We will get you some salute right there. There we go. Now, do we have a level 4? We have ourselves a level 4. You know what that means. You know what that means. That's a level 4 Hype Train. Level 4 Hype Train. That means this. Right there. Level 4 Hype Train coming through. Hype Train. That's hype. That's what we call hype right there. No doubt about it. Thanks, Paintwater. I appreciate that too. Thank you so much for the bitses. Thank you very much, Paintwater. Here, let's we're gonna get our Gandalf out here just in case we get to a level 5. Cinder, thank you so much for that. Xano, actually, you can go back to... Oh, thanks, Infernal Brush, for the follow. And thank you so much, Frozen Toes. Thank you very much, Frozen Toes, for that. For all the bitses there. I think who else just did a... So thanks again. Yeah, go back to December, the 21st and the 24th. Or no, yeah, the 21st and 24th. Actually, I did a pair of cookie decorating streams. Thanks, Frozen Toes. So yeah, we did a cookie decorating stream. We did all kinds of Lord of the Rings themed cookies. We actually did Star Wars theme. Let's see, who else? I'm just gonna get me some dark here, if you don't mind, real quick here. Just waiting to see if we go to our level 5. We're at 90% of our level 5. And there it is. Level 5 means both Hype Trains simultaneously here. That means both Hype Trains. There we go. Both Hype Trains are coming on through right there. Both Hype Trains for level 5. Look at that. So all kidding aside, go back and watch the cookie decorating stream because we did a whole bunch of stuff. Not just the Hype Train cookie. We did a bunch of different stuff. So thank you very much, Armored Wolf. And thank you, Infernal Brush. And Oxoologist, too. And also with Frozen Toes. Thank you very much.
So say we all.
So hopefully, thank you very much. That is, it really does help because, well, that's how we're able to get some of those extra paints. Ah, there we go. I think now finally Inferno Brush is getting their little sound bit there for their bits. We're gonna take oh, Perline Black. Perline Black, let's use some of that. And let's definitely thank our moderator Armored Wolf too. Because keep in mind that the Armored Wolf is working on all those fantastic basing supplies, like so. Again, all of those fun grass tufts and the moss that we used, all that great stuff, that's all from Armored Wolf, some of the tall
Hello,
foliage
little
too.
hobbits. Spark my ganja.
Yep, yes, we do. We had to do that when it was time to come up with another cookie design. We definitely had to do. We had to do a hype train cookie, no doubt about that. Yeah, let's get a couple of more nice, rich, deep darks in here. How's about some of our Van Dyke Brown again? So there we go. That's quite the hype train there. I know, what's our record? Was it 300 and some percent? I think is the record. Yeah, I think it was 300 something is the record. Now, that's almost more of a grayish color right there. Well, that's Big Jim Slade. Big Jim Slade. Look at that. Folks, be sure to give Big Jim Slade a follow. It's like, hey, you got a quarter? It's like, are you a little orc? No, but I got a nickel, and if you have a quarter, I'll buy that off you. It's like, I don't understand. I think you're a little orc. I think it's time to go. So, folks, be sure to check out Big Jim Slade. Give Big Jim Slade a follow because tomorrow night, Monster of the Week, he'll be running that along with Vliger Dragon and Zoltaris and all the other fun players that are part of that group. So definitely check that out. So Big Jim Slade, I hope that you're doing good. So Gary, it's bits, cheers, and subs. It's all three of those. I guess they all contribute to it. So yeah, bits, cheers, and subs. I don't know if there's other things too, but I know bits, cheers, and subs work. That I know works. And I don't know if there's yeah, Big Jim. It's not quite like the kind of cheering that Big Jim is used to in his channel that a certain person does, which is oh my goodness, yes, it gets a little bit crazy there. Oh man, now we need a little bit of lighter colors here on his rock over here. All right, Brush, I'll catch you later. Okay, Brush, I'm glad that we're making it a little bit easier to get through that one man work day right there. You know, where's there we go. Hopefully it's maybe I don't know, you maybe can join us later because we're only an hour in. We're only an hour in, so we could well be still going here when you're done with your workday. That is very possible. Hey, Mike Jeezy, showing a little bit of a Sweet Home Chicago right there. So you have a good one there, Brush Panda. Silver Templars. Those are some neat. Those are some neat emojis, right? I think that's what we're calling those. I've tried making let's see, some more emoticons or whatever, but sadly they just keep getting rejected. So now we'll just have to kind of go with the ones that I've got. All right, yeah. So well, 7-8 hours from now, I think we'll still be going. So it's very possible. It's very possible. So it's Big Jim, do you have any? Let's see. I think you did a surprise stream. When was your surprise stream that you did? Was that during the week you did one? Here, let's come back and where's our? Here it is. Let's come back in with a darker one right here. We'll take some indigo along with our Van Dyke Brown. Let's get some darker colors in here. When in doubt, make things darker, right? When in doubt, make the stuff darker. Instead of just rushing to the highlights. Of course, we've already had one of our biggest hits mixing with the pre-glaze, which apparently is one of ZZ Top's biggest tunes. We print out a couple of more of these guys. We got ZZ Top. We just had to paint their Cromnius. They never say. They just never approve them. They just never get approved. I basically gave up wasting time on it. So yeah, I tried doing several early on, and there was a bunch that were approved, or there was a few that were approved, and all the rest just keep getting rejected. So I said, all right, even the one true brush, it was literally a picture of this brush. That's all it was, and they rejected that one. So it's like, all right, guys, I'm done. I'm out. I don't have time for this. There's way better things that I can be doing with the spare tiny fraction of time I have to dedicate to it. Sitting around the other day just fired up the system. So yeah, Big Jim. Now, do you is there any more questionable real estate this week, or is that an every other week on the QRE? Instead, what is it? The QVC, right? That's the home shopping network. Big Jim Slade has the QRE. That's what Big Jim's throwing out there, the questionable real estate. Now this over here, this is what I'm looking for. So let's get our indigo over here. A little bit of this. So it's going to be very much like our orky thing over here, where we, on a lot of the metal surfaces, we just took the indigo, took the white, made sort of a bluish gray. That's what a lot of our grays were right here for all of our metals on our orky guy from last night. Armored Wolf, I was gonna send, actually, Kathy, just a message in a little bit, just a Facebook message to say, is it, because I think she's playing Valheim again, so I'm not sure she'll even see that. Of course, she'd also have to be listening for the doorbell. I might just send her a message and see if she can throw one of those into the oven for me, and if I get an answer, then maybe I'll be able to let you know. Because, well, you know how much I'd be tempted to have the Giordano's. Holy smokes, I would be super tempted to have that. I mean, hello, it's meats. It's meats. It's all the meatses. See, if it had black olives on it, Kathy would very much be into the black olives. I know that, well, when we used to get stuff from DiNardo's before that essentially kind of closed down. It's still there, but it changed ownership, and it's not the same thing anymore at all. She used to get a pepperoni and black olive pizza from them. We'll be doing some more of it Wednesday, extended stream. That's your birthday stream, right? That's your birthday stream. So happy birthday in advance. I think we're, yeah, Orc just that was really fun. I can't, well, I know I did paint, what was that, Badruck or something like that? I painted him in oils, but I found a whole bunch of orky stuff. See how we're starting to get some of that bluish gray even into the bark over here?
Spark my ganja.
Thank you so much, Zerandat. Uh-oh, it's gonna be fast Gana. He's like, don't be hasty. Don't be hasty, little hobbit. Not a hobbit. Thank you very much, Zerandat, for that follow. That is appreciated. Okay, so definitely, folks, be sure to join Big Jim Slade on his birthday stream. What did I do on my birthday stream last year? Oh, it was this. It was this. Yes. Well, we painted a birthday present for somebody else on my birthday stream. So that was last year's birthday stream. Maybe we'll do maybe we'll do another 2D painting again. No, I know. Well, this June, I don't care what happens. We are painting my Dauntless Dive Bomber. My 1/48 scale Dauntless, that's getting painted this June. I don't care. Somewhere in that June 4th, 5th, 6th area, I don't care. It's getting painted on stream. Here, let's see if we can't maybe get some brighter greens in there. Yeah, Armor, I'll try and send a message to Kathy and see if she can maybe throw that in there. Here, let me try and bring that up if I can while we keep this going here. Where's our... Oh, there's our little leaves in here. I just want to mark some of these here. Okay, where's the... Are there any more? Oh, yeah, there's some more over here, too. I just want to get some lighter colors on there. Wow, there's way more little leaves in here than I thought there was. Way more little leaves. Now we're going to start getting some highlights in here because we've been doing lots of darks, lots of midtones. We can start working in some highlights in a second here. Hey, Dave, how you doing? Let me see, just to send something. Let's see if... Once I just type in a... No, let me see. How do we spell that? So I sent that off to her. I'm not quite sure what that'll get response-wise, but we sent something. But now we're going to start doing some highlight type things here. As in like maybe some actual highlights. Because we haven't put any, believe it or not, we haven't put any on there. So yes, Dave, this is the GW Treebeard. Well, I guess we sent that off just in time because we have Yola Studio. Yola Studio, thank you so much for that raid. We'll just welcome all the little new hobbitses. Hello, little hobbits. Hey, don't be hasty. Don't be hasty, but thank you so much for that raid. And how are you doing? So Yola Studio. Folks, be sure to give Yola Studio a follow as well. We want to support all of our fellow streamers. You know that. Have to support all of our fellow streamers. That's the great thing about Twitch because everybody definitely tries to support everybody else. That's what I like about it, that's for sure. Wow, we got some more leaves over here too that still could use some highlights. Now we got this little snail over here. I'm going to give it a slightly different, yeah, let's get a whole different color to actually make that snail stand out, especially for Armored Wolf, right? Armored Wolf wants to have that snail actually stand out a little bit. Armored Wolf loves his snails. So yes, Armored Wolf actually gets a snail right there. Look at that. Hey Drax, how are you doing? So Drax, it's actually all GW Lord of the Rings today. So actual GW Dunlendings, just like, well, here. So these, believe it or not, these are actual GW Dunlendings. And we'll be doing some more of those guys as well. All right, well, merci, and au revoir, and, well, I'd say bonjour, but actually, you need a good night. So, but je ne sais pas français. I don't know how to say good night in French, so I will just say thank you very much for that raid, and you have a good night's sleep. A little bit more with the lighter tones on his face. Cromnius has to go face the gray mountain of shame. Well, but Cromnius, see, that's the advantage of the oils. the oils act like erosion, right? They erode that gray mountain of shame into gradually smaller and smaller peaks until it becomes a valley, and then you have to buy more. Then you got to buy more. So think of what benefits the oils would have. You'd actually get through all of those miniatures, then you'd have to buy more, because you certainly wouldn't want to just look around at a empty, no pile or something like that on your table. That would be a terrible thing. You don't want that to happen. Ah, bonne nuit. Okay. Thanks, Lady Hussar. I mean, we know how to say toss me in French. Jetez-moi. Yeah, how do we know that? How do we know that? We know that because of, where's the mimes right here? There we go. That's how we know. Yes, Lutein Nation or Lutan Nation or Goblin Nation right there. Yes, those are the mimes of Moria. So Joey, how you doing? Nice to see you again. Ah, Lady Hussar, you know what? I don't know if I have any left. I might have used them all. And trust me, I love the Wicked Elf butterflies because I've used them on a bunch of Dark Sword figures. I think if you check out the Instagram, you'll see a lady that was painted kind of like a monarch, and then obviously a bunch of little monarch butterflies. Yeah, actually, I need a bunch of those. But the nice thing is we can always add them, right? We could always add some of those to Treebeard. I was thinking maybe on one of my Lady Galadriels, maybe I could add some vellum butterflies to that too. And Cinder's going to want some film noir, so we'll get to that film noir in a second here. I just want to hit a couple of these lights while I'm thinking about it before we forget. We want to start to get at least in right around the face or something. Almost looks like there's a bit of a spotlight hitting that. Here, let's also get some of these guys out of the way there.
So say we all.
Thank you very much, Silver Templars. I appreciate that. All the subs matter so much. Thank you very much. Here, let's see what this. We're talking about those subtle color differences, right? And so here you can see there's light and dark, right? But you don't see any of the green in his beard. You don't see some of the, like right here, it's almost a yellowish color, then green, then sort of a reddish brown. This almost has some blue to it. There's green over here. So let's focus in on this area right here. When we bring the color back, you're going to see this is where the burnt umber went. Here's some of our green. Here's some, we're going to make this even more yellowish. We're going to bring that out more. And then you got the blue over here by the rock. So as we bring this back, check that out. Look at the difference that makes. Right? Look at this. You can see the green over here. Then it starts to get more of a reddish brown. I'm going to make sure, let's see, there we go. I think I had the lights turned down for our orc yesterday. So, Joey, I hope that you're doing good. Cromnius has to assemble them first. Yeah, Cromnius, that's one of those cases where, what is it, getting there is half the fun? No, it ain't. No, when it comes to assembling miniatures, getting there, that ain't half the fun. That's none of the fun. Assembling miniatures, zero fun. What is fun is telling the printer to print the miniature, and then like 10 hours later you come back and you go, yo, dude, what's up, man? Pop them out of those supports, and then of course you save those reports or supports for stuff like this. Yeah, I mean, of course, I mean, given the fact that the refuse that we use for basing and for everything else here, is it any wonder that we're recycling the supports? Is it any wonder? Look at here too. See, we're getting some highlights now on these surfaces. We don't want to make it too much like non-metallic metal. However, we want, oh, look at that, huh? Looks much more dramatic, doesn't it? Wasn't a whole bunch of work either, was it? No, not at all. It was nice and easy. Nice and easy like. And of course the entire time it's mixing with all of these mid-range colors that we've got here already. Like this, yeah, it's just mixing there. We're also maybe even painting a little bit more bark texture there. It looks like there's a Kathy face here. Oh, nope, I'll look and see what Kathy's message was here. Um, so Kathy says, well, actually, I don't know, Armored Wolf, if you want to pull the trigger on the Giordano's there. Well, Kathy is definitely not super opposed to that idea. And well, she's not in the middle of fighting a troll in Valheim, so she could answer the door too, which almost didn't work earlier today when the frozen printer showed up, and the guy was banging on the door while Kathy's fortunately not fighting a troll. So actually, that could work. Yeah, Armored Wolf, if you don't mind, Kathy would be free to answer the door, so that could be very fun. Oh yeah, that's I guess if it arrives in a half an hour or 45 minutes or something like that, that will be good. Maybe even give. Yeah, yeah, something like that, I guess. What time is it now? So 5:59. Okay. So I guess Kathy's doing a bit of a walk right now. Okay. So yeah, maybe I guess in 15 minutes or so ish or something like that, pull the trigger on that. Oh, thanks. So I think so, Armored Wolf, because who knows, maybe she could take part in each. Yeah, she might steal a slice of meat too. So I think we're all caught up there. Yep, I think so. Here, let's get some more of our, again, lights on Treebeard's face, but not all that same pinkish color. How's about some lighter yellows over here? That's our cadmium yellow light. See what we can do on some of the leaves here now. Again, just the ones that are way up here on top of them, they should be catching some light. I think we'll actually do some more on those. Here, let's some brilliant yellow pale going here. There's some parts of this that I will not be painting till more towards the end because, well, we need to put our finger somewhere. If a finger needs to go somewhere, it needs to go everywhere. That's not going to be in the Book of Wappel, but that's just the case for right now. Trying to paint our Treebeard right here. So here, let's also too, not putting a whole bunch of thinner on the brush, right? It's not quite a dry brush, but we don't have that brush loaded down with thinner. Too much thinner on that is not going to work for you. All right, there you go. Here, we're just going to almost do a little bit of blending brush right here. Almost a little bit of blending brush right there. But once again, what is this, an hour and 26 minutes in with some hype trains and all the kinds of fun stuff. I'm just saying, oil paints, just saying. They open up some doors for you. If you want to have to assemble a whole bunch of minis really fast because you're getting through your pile of assembled minis really fast, that's what oils can do for you. As we also start bringing out some lights there again. Now let's see if we can do, speaking of some lights here, let's make his eyes a little bit lighter too so that we can go back in and do some more stuff with those. But first we just need to do something here like that. Go back over here with some of our, a little bit of that cadmium green light We haven't used that in a while, so I just wanted to break it out. I mean, what better than on Treebeard to break out that cadmium green light? Just like we did on the other side, let's start to get some highlights here on these upper edges. Might have to try and sculpt some tree bark this way just when we get back to our sculpting streams. I have a lot of forest style bases to do, and it'd be fun to actually sculpt some trees for those. And actually, I don't know, I think she might actually not be too unopposed to the pizza stuff because, well, there was really not a whole bunch else around here for supper anyways, so it is much appreciated. Oh, what the heck is that called? Stream treats or something like that, where you can actually, through Streamlabs, actually, like, or order the streamer food. I guess Dices has that going. Just Dices has that. I don't know if Zoltaris has that. I know Just Dices does, and I think a couple of other streamers do. Have no idea how that works. Of course, not really going to work so well for me because, well, they wouldn't really, given it would be 1 o'clock in the morning or something like that here, that's not going to work too well. But on all these surfaces that are facing upwards now, we can start to think about picking out a few highlights. Again, I'm going to leave some of these fingers, have some dark to them. It looks like there's actually a couple of leaves over here. No problem. We got some green sitting around over here. So the rock here, that's just gonna be a hand resting spot for now. Just like with the orc, right? We didn't even stick him on the base until the very last minute. We were just painting him on his little dead paint jar for quite some time. Yeah, let's pick up a couple more of those. Yeah, see a couple more highlights right there. Yeah, that does it. Now we're going to actually need a fair amount of treatment. All kidding aside, I'm going to have to find some references of the different treatment. What was there? Beech. There was a beech tree. I think it would be absolutely hilarious if we sculpted a pine tree of some kind where he literally just has a it looks like a giant cone-headed tree man or something like that. That would be absolutely hilarious. I think so. So 8:30, 8:40. So probably 7:30 or something like that. I'm guessing because it's 6:05 here right now. Yeah, Lady has. I know that there was a point where they had some other plastic tree men or something like that the GW had done. Of course, I mean, while it'd be very convenient to just print out 6 Treebeards or something like that, it would look a little bit boring, and it would be tough to lop off the heads or something like that, and trying to sculpt new ones on. So we might still try to. I mean, it would be fun anyways. It would still be very fun to sculpt some tree men. I love sculpting trees. The bases that we did for those eagles, right? We sculpted those, and that was a lot of fun. So yeah, it's what is it? It's 6:06 here right now. And let's oh, we can do some more down in here too. I'm going to take the brilliant yellow pale. We'll get it down into here. That's our umber. We'll respect the umber. Let's see if we can actually get in here. I might even throw some more darks in there too, just based on this. Might throw some more darks. So, here we go. We'll just take this 0 brush here. Let's do that. Yeah, we could certainly make some of this stuff darker. We can even throw in some of our perling black to make it even darker. Ooh, there we go. When in doubt, make it darker, right? Not always just highlighting things to death. I see that all the time. Just rushing right. Don't be hasty. Don't be hasty and rush right to those highlights there. Let's get, speaking of which, now that we got those darks in place, do something like this here. Let's see. So Joey, I'm not sure if I can. Oh, they're gonna be tough to reach. Oh, I can reach one of them here. Can't reach them both, sadly. But we did these on our sculpting stream, so you can go back and watch these. We did 2 of these guys here. You can see we got all the knots in the trees. We started putting some of the shelf funguses on there. So yeah, can go back and watch those. Those were very fun. Along with our Great Beast of Golgoroth, sculpting of the eagles themselves. So Thursday, now lately it's been basing streams. For various reasons, they've been basing streams. But Thursdays are also sculpting streams. Lady Hussar, we use the oils for everything. We've just a couple of weeks ago, what was it, for CavCon or something like that, we were painting 10mm scale or something like that. And then, well, you think Treebeard is big. Yeah, step aside. Step aside. That is how big this is. We painted up Worcester and Jeeves. So Jeeves is hello. Uh-oh. You're not little hobbits. You're like a little twig. Yeah. He's pretty small. I am not small. I'm neither large nor small. It's like, nope, you're kind of small. It's like, hey, where's the dude with the ganja? It's like, is that the guy that keep asking me about the hobbits? Yeah, where is he? He's got ganja. So yeah, we painted some pretty large things. Also too, here we go. We did this last week right here. This was our Moria dragon with all the fun little extra bitses there. But then we paint lots of small stuff too. Oh yeah, I mean, so we definitely paint smaller scale figures, all the stuff in the oils, because it's just so much easier. So Lady Hussar, they're not all that big. That is the giant Etten. So this is Mr. Giggles right here. So that'll give you a little bit of a size comparison right there. Let's see, Dude says, start a stream at 12:30 p.m. Pre-glaze a miniature for half an hour. And then Pixel Bob yesterday when we pre-glazed this mini. More of our, yeah, let's get a couple of lights along here too. So yeah, the Birchwood Vale guys, that's just the Etten right there. The other trolls are more like Treebeard size, right? Because this is Rocky here. Yeah, we painted him, so he's not even as tall as Treebeard. He's much wider than Treebeard, but not as tall as Treebeard. Now, of course, you could print those smaller. And now that I actually have well, at least I think I have the files. I don't know. I was trying to do that earlier today, but today just was way out of control early on, so did not get a chance to make any build plates with those. Oh, thanks, Lady Hussar. Yeah, for me, it doesn't matter what the thing is. I'm gonna use oils for it. And like I say, you can go back and watch. I think it was maybe 3 no, it was more like 4 or 5 Saturdays ago now. can go back and watch that. And those are some pretty tiny little vehicles. They were tiny little buggers. And the oils work just as well on those. Actually, they work a little bit better because it's easier to get small details with the oils than it is with the acrylics. So here's another little example right here, just like the freehand on here. That was way easier to do with the oils than it ever is with the acrylics. Like a lot easier. So highly recommended using the oils for pretty much everything. I'm even starting to use the oils on terrain pieces now. Oh, definitely will be using the oils on terrain pieces because the darks are so much darker. It's so easy to get just incredible darks with the oils. And the acrylics are just miserable. They are nowhere near as dark as the oils. Well, the colors are nowhere near as durable. They're nowhere near as intense or bright or anything like that, or saturated. It's I know it always sounds like we're kind of bashing on the acrylics, but seeing is believing. And when people see the oils compared to the acrylics, when you put the same figures side by side, there's no comparison. It's shocking to see the difference. And then, of course, the ability to just kind of grab some sort of a brush for blending. And I think we were using this one as a blending brush yesterday. So we just plopped some colors on here. And now we're just going to take this brush right here and just blend those nice and easy. And we use them on busts as well. So here is our Uhuru bust. We painted this one up either last week or the week before, including the spacescape on the plinth right there. So painted this one up just in the last week or two. So yeah, like Cromnia says, there's a couple of things that you're going to want to keep in mind, is especially setting aside some of those things that you're used to doing with the acrylics. Like with the oils, there's no layers. You're not just going to layer one and then make it slightly lighter, then slightly lighter. You're not going to be doing the glazing in the same kind of way that you might with the acrylics. So like Cromnia says, there's definitely some things you're going to have to make adjustments to. Obviously, you got things like the pre-glaze that we love to use. And those can be adjustments for folks. The ideal thing to do is take something that has simple shapes to it. Something with a big old cloak, some kind of maybe a Reaper Bones miniature, whatever. Something with a big old surface like that. Maybe just take one light color and one dark color, and that's it. Just to get used to it. Couple of colors, nothing fancy. And give that a try. See if you like it. When I was in my watercolor class back in school, they gave us one color to work with. That was it. They said, we don't want you fighting the watercolors and the color palette. We don't want you struggling with all that stuff at the same time. You get one color, Van Dyke Brown, that's it. You get nothing else. Halfway through the year, we still only had 3 colors because they said, you are not going to be struggling with 2-3 things at once. We'll just let you learn the watercolors first and go from there. So just like Cromness was saying, that's a good approach to take. That don't be hasty. I mean, Treebeard says it too. I don't know, we should listen to Treebeard. Yeah, Lady Hussar, I grew up with Bill Alexander, who was kind of the mentor for Bob Ross. Those guys ended up being really good friends. And Bob Ross kind of carried the torch after Bill Alexander there. And actually, some of our phrases in the Book of Wappel come from Bill Alexander. The thicker paint sticks to the thinner paint and vice versa. That is straight out of Bill Alexander right there. Even after all these years. Refiner, so again, a couple of nice little edge lights there. Where we think the light's going to be catching this. There's lots of crazy little surfaces on this, and it's sort of like a chess match. I have to keep in mind that we are going to be throwing some flock and other things on the surfaces here. Even some little bits of grass and moss. So I don't have to, not everything has to be painted in, because nifty as the paint might be, it's still not quite the same as having some actual leaves or actual static grass, moss, or whatever. That lends just one extra layer of texture to it. See if we can get a couple of more lights here on the ends of the leaves here. Like so. Here too. On the ends of the branches there. Again, almost like there's a little bit of a light coming down this way, because that's kind of how they showed him. Whenever there was a close-up of him, it was like he was being lit by a spotlight. Okay, we've got, I don't want to make this, again, not too light there. Just like we keep saying, don't go directly to the extreme highlights. It can be tempting, I realize that, but also to think shadows, right? Some of these leaves here, they don't need to be massively highlighted because, well, they're kind of in shadow anyways. Let's see if we can't perhaps throw a little bit of some darks on some of these leaves here. We'll take our Perline black. We'll mix it with that. Ooh, we haven't actually mixed this together at all. So Perline black. It's like it's a better olive green. Boy, feel sorry for your olive green. You're about to get pushed aside again. Yeah, Perline black. Well, Perline black and Indian yellow would also be another nice little combo for something like that. Of course, Perline black with a little something like a Van Dyke brown also creates a really nifty sort of a sap green type of a color. Hopefully at some point we maybe get a chance to paint our landscapes of Middle Earth, aka the backdrops for my Lord of the Rings terrain boards. And that might just have to take the form of some squares of pink foam, which won't be the easiest thing to get on camera, that's for sure, given the fact that they are potentially 2 feet by 2 feet, so I'm not quite sure how that would work. So we may not be able to work that out. So again, we're not going to bother with this rock until very much the end of the process here, because that's just going to keep getting hit by my hand over and over again. Ah, time for some more darks. Perline black in here. Let that work its way down and through here. And we've got our, so maybe let's start to think about something with his eyes here. So we've been using that for a little resting point for our finger. Where's another place we can, we'll just have to twist him around here. I don't know if you'll be able to see that or not. But at least we could get the brush in there. Also going to tighten up a couple of lines there. We could still do some pin line washes in here. Another nifty thing about the oils, right? Being able to do that kind of stuff. Sammy Poo, how you doing? Nice to see you back. I hope that you've been having a really good Saturday. I'm going to darken up some areas here so that the eye shows up a little bit more. And I'm going to take this brush, use it almost as a little bit of a blending brush in a way. Sammy Poo did lots of outside work, but is exhausted but happy, and hopefully all that work is now finished. So you can just sort of chill out now and relax. This is not just a lighter color here. We got some of that yellow in there. What we also haven't used in a while is almost, I don't want to say straight up Terra Rosa, but much more. I'm going to let that also do a little bit of mixing in here. We've got our green. So again, orange and green. There's yellow in here. All kinds of fun different colors going on. With something this big, just slapping some light brown paint down there and then taking Devlin mud or whatever and going over the top of that, that's just that's not really gonna do very much on a miniature this size with all the stuff going on here. Why just do something like that? Why not try to have it be a little bit more fun? See, we got some more of the orangey red in there. That's your Terra Rosa. The same thing, literally, that we were using as rust last night here. Terra Rosa was rust. Now it's bark. Terra Rosa is also quite frequently skin tone, right? Skin tone. The work is never finished when you're living in a forest. Yep. Well, you certainly have a bunch of these out there, don't you? Hello, little hobbit. No one cares for growing things anymore. Now, I guess the next question is, Sammy Poo, did you run across the Entwives while you were out there? It's like, hey, did you see the Entwives? We're going to continue mixing in some of our Terra Rosa in a couple of these places here, just again to create that extra little bit of contrast that we keep talking about beyond just light and dark. Same thing. You see that little bit of almost like an orangey color right there? What does that do? Contrast with the bluish color that we've got going on with the stone that he's carrying. Get a little bit more of the Terra Rosa here. The interior of his leg. I think some of that Terra Rosa on his face might not be bad. Again, to maybe bring out a smidge more contrast. No Entwise, but one tree was hard to cut. Really felt like it was a sentient thing that did not want to give up a branch.
Hello, little hobbit. Spark my ganja.
And thank you so much for that follow. That is appreciated. Dipidra. Hello, little hobbits. Don't be hasty. I told him not to be hasty. Not hasty. So thank you, Red. That was fast Gandalf, by the way. If you're wondering who the heck was that just showed up and exited the screen so quickly, that was fast Gandalf on Shadowfax. It was the original fax machine. There you go. See how fast that was? Let's see if I can't also. I'm going to get a little bit more of the yellow in there. Almost sort of turns it a bit of a orangey color, but I'm going to let that get into the bits of bark over here once again to give me a different sort of contrast here. besides just the light and dark. Maybe a little less of that as we move around the figure here and get further away from the face. Maybe that's something just like we did on that wood nymph that keeps showing you there, where the colors up towards the face and everything. Those were much warmer, much more saturated. So just like here on Treebeard, with some of the colors up here by his face, more saturated. Oh, you still have the old Treebeard. Yeah, Sammy Poo. I painted that one up back in the day. The old metal one. Yeah, painted that one up. This one had a lot of pieces to it. I think it took me 2.5 hours to try and get him all put together. Hey, Jeep Man, how you doing? Nice to see you again. We're having some fun with our Treebeard right here. Especially now that we have our Dunlendings, the whole Wolves of Isengard underway. I guess we need to have our Tree Man, our Ent army ready to go. Well, especially since in War of the Rings, suddenly the Ents just appear. And boy, do they start wrecking things. They just show up and man, they are nasty. So we'll have to, it's going to be really interesting when it comes to using them, not just in the battle reports, but in that whole campaign / scenario type thing. That's going to be really interesting. So it is an interesting way they sculpted the bark on this, where it's almost like sections of bark as opposed to, yeah, less of the kind of the texture that I would normally sculpt. As we welcome in Tim. How you doing there, Tim? Nice to see you. I hope that everything has been going all right. Nosferatu's pile of potential just looks at him, laughs, and mocks him. And Sammy Poo has a mile-high pile of potential. So Tim, have you, well, I know you've been working really hard on the shop and everything like that. Have you actually had a chance to mess around with miniatures at all in the last couple of years with all the stuff going on? I figured that was probably not something that you were going to have any time to do, because you had so many different projects that you were trying to do there to kind of keep things going. Now here, that's almost a bit more of a yellowish color again to get some separation right there. He asked if I needed to find anything, and Mass Penguin did not have the mask going. Oops, that's always fun. I'd say a year ago, a store closed, and they cleared up all the GW stuff. Ah, wow. Ooh, Sammy Poo, that's that makes me very envious right there. I know that Altered Man Art, he was able to score just tons and tons of Lord of the Rings stuff because somebody just, they didn't really realize, I think, what they had, and they just wanted it gone. And he pretty much got just about everything there was to get, all in one fell swoop. As for myself, I've had to turn to many other avenues as far as getting Lord of the Rings figures, especially, well,
Hello, little hobbits. Spark my gun, John.
not just from the 3D printing, but also from stuff like the Fireforged miniatures and also, of course, the Oathmark figures. Mori Noxy, thank you so much. Hello, little hobbits. Spark my gunja. It's like, dude, I think somebody's sparking your gun. He's like, oh, is that those stun landings again? Gotta stop them. So thank you very much for that follow. That is appreciated. Tim's been painting the Chaos Dwarfs army. Working on the 65 Barracuda. Tim, that sounds like that sounds like some pretty fun things to be working on. Now, are those are the old big hat, right? Are those the old big hat chaos dwarves? I oh gosh, who did one of the 3D printing guys did I think it was Lost Kingdoms might have done some chaos dwarves, and I swear that some of them still had the big hats on them. I could be wrong, but I swear that some of them still had the big hats. I'm gonna see if I can't get just a couple of lighter highlights there on his, right around his eye. That's what I'm looking for. Might even, I don't think I can zoom in for you anymore. I can move this a little closer here. Here, we'll just inch it a little bit closer to Treebeard right there. The old metal Balrog, right, Sammy? Yeah. You're just, well, I think you saw, now, of course, that was a Patreon episode, but I think you saw how we impacted that with using the heavy gloss gel to create all kinds of extra flames on that because, well, it was one giant hunk of metal, and of course, nothing fit together, and we just added a whole bunch of extra flames, basically, to hide all of the seams on that. Let me see. I'm still trying to paint when you can. Wow, and some baby registry Lord of the Rings miniatures. That is solid. That is solid. Well, I guess that just means if you want to keep expanding that Lord of the Rings collection, you have to keep making more little hobbits, I guess. More hobbits, more Lord of the Rings stuff. So that's and it was Titan 4, not Titan. It was Lost Kingdoms, right? They were the ones that did the sort of big hat chaos dwarves, not chaos dwarves. Let's see, the old Treebeard, old Minas Tirith warriors, and the Warg riders. I still have the old Ringwraiths, the old Tom Bombadil. Actually, I painted up the old Theoden. He was sold off. Actually, I used to have the metal Easterlings. That was my Easterling army was mostly metal figures back in the day. Of course, those got sold off. Loved my old metal Easterlings.
Hello, little hobbits. Spark my ganja.
Thank you so much, Phoenix. Phoenix Daking Todd. Hello, little hobbits. Where did our again? There he is. Hello, little hobbits. I think you stepped on him. Uh, oh, sorry about that. Thought they were orcs, not orcs. So thank you very much for that follow. That is appreciated. Oh, we still have to sign up for the Lost Kingdom so that we can get those Tomb Kings, not Tomb Kings files. I will try to do that later tonight after this is, after we get through all of our Middle Earth stuff here. Okay, what do we want to do with this? I think that actually we're going to go with perhaps a little bit of a pin line wash on that. Let's see if we can do that here. Thanks, Armored Wolf. And folks, be sure to give Armored Wolf's Etsy page a look-see. Armored Wolf has been reminding me, and others in the chat, like Bithron, have been reminding me over and over again to sign up for the Lost Kingdom stuff this month so we don't lose out on all of that fabulous Tomb King stuff. Because, love me, Tomb King stuff. Yeah, just see, all we're doing is just touching the brush there. We let the paint flow on its own. I know that's a little bit tough for just to let the paint flow on its own. Yeah, Sammy Poo. Actually, I guess I've got to try and get the Oh, what are they? The new ninjas. We'll try and get those guys too. Believe it or not, it's like people are just always hating on the Easterlings. And when the new Easterling figures were announced, they were hating on those guys too. It's just very weird. Nobody ever uses the cataphracts except for one or two. Actually, it's kind of hard for me to watch Lord of the Rings battle reports these days because it's pretty much the same armies over and over again. Yeah, Bithran, that's why I figured, well, it's the 24th, and they say you have till the 30th, so I should be okay. Let's see, well, tonight would be the 25th after the stream is over, so I figured that we should still be okay even tonight. So, Lady Hussar, this is the Patreon page. You know what we haven't used yet? It's about a little bit of Egyptian violet mixed with a little bit of the asphaltum. Ooh, that's a nice rich dark in there. That's why we do some more of that over here too. Yeah, look at that. Just seeps right down in there. More of that Egyptian violet. Just because. Yeah, I just don't understand why there's all the hate for the Easterlings. Nobody uses the War Priest. Nobody uses this, that, or the other. It's I can't even watch any of the podcast things where they're talking about the game. Ugh, it's unwatchable at this point because you already know what they're gonna say. You don't even have to watch the thing. If they would just surprise me once in a while by saying, that doesn't stink, or that's not underpowered, or whatever, I might actually watch them again. Yeah, Sammy Poo. The only reason that I sold off the stuff that I did not want to have to do that. It was just, it was one of those life circumstances. I certainly wish I still had them all. Because, boy, wouldn't have had to, well, as much as fun as it was to paint the Easterlings again and redo all the resculpt the heroes, basically, from just regular Easterling miniatures, that was a lot of fun. Also, could have advanced things a lot faster if I didn't have to redo all the armies that I already had. Which is, that is why we have the big quest here to try and essentially bring back all the Lord of the Rings stuff that had to be sold off. Armored Wolf, I guess they're more popular than people thought they were going to be, huh? And it'll probably be that way for months and months and months. Which is okay, because, well, we have ourselves a decent-sized Easterling army. That is okay. Definitely want to have our, well, now I can have Easterlings versus versus our Goat Riders. That should be very fun. Here, let's just get some of our greens down. That's our Perline Black again, using it almost like a Phthalo Green. A bit like that Phthalo Green. I really do love it. It's super multi-purpose color, no doubt about that. Yeah, Jeep Man. Fortunately, well, I've had to set the bolt action stuff aside for various reasons, but I still have all that, fortunately. Thank goodness, because there might come a time where we can bring that stuff back out again. I mean, well, we have the 4 bolt action battle reports already. And I would love to be doing those again. It's just there's a little too much craziness right now, so maybe there comes a time where we can start doing the bolt action battle reports once more. I know I'd certainly love doing it. So yeah, Sammy Poo, like you said, if the option is there to hang on to him, boy, that is definitely the way to go. Hang on to those guys. Do we need to? So tempted to. No, not. Don't over highlight, little hobbits. Don't be hasty. Don't over highlight. Don't do any of those things. See, we can't get some lighter colors on the ends of a few of these leaves over here. Don't want to go too nuts on them because really they should be almost in shadow. There's so much stuff over the top of them here. I understand why GW puts the leaves on things like this, but I kind of almost wish they wouldn't do that. And of course, we've got these little piles of bushes here on top of the Loot Studios one. I'm just going to be putting my own flock on top of that. So yeah, we're not going to be painting that terribly much right there because that's just going to get covered in flock. And some of the, what is it, the Woodland Scenics realistic foliage, that'll actually be much better than that. Can I understand why they put some of that stuff on there, but it just kind of gets in the way sometimes, unfortunately. Yeah, now, actually, Jeep Man was Little Wars this weekend? I swear it was this weekend. So actually, I think, believe it or not, John is at this moment probably about 45 minutes away from our house. If he's at Little Wars, which I'm pretty sure was this weekend, which of course, you know, it's just I don't think I'll ever get a chance to do a bolt action tournament again. I think Operation Sting will probably be the last one that I ever got a chance to do. That one was really fantastic. Geez, somehow I thought it was, because next weekend would be May. I thought it was April. I think it was April 24th. Actually, is that today? Yeah, it's today. I think it was this weekend here. Which in previous years or whatever, that's where I would be. I would be at the Warlord booth. Actually, well, I was painting. Where's my yeah, I was painting those actually at Little Wars last year. My barbershop navy there. Yeah, I was painting up my Regia Marina. I think I was painting a couple of the gunboats there. I think I was also painting part of a BT-7 there as well. So it's next weekend. Okay. Not sure why I thought it was. I could have sworn it was. I don't know if they've ever done it in May. Well, I guess everything is all at different times and stuff nowadays. I guess I'm just thinking of all the past years where it was in April. All right, over here. Right here on the end of his, well, that little tree root or whatever that's sticking up there. Might think about doing a couple of lighter areas right there. Yeah, not too much. And I think we've got to go the other way. Yeah, we need to go darker here with some of our trees. Yeah, Jeep Man, I know that I still remember when John was making the Hornet, and that was supposed to be for Adepticon last year. I wonder if he's actually brought it. He must have brought it to Little Wars this year, or is bringing it to Little Wars this year. He put too much work into that thing to not bring it somewhere. So I hope he gets to show that off. He put a ton of work into that. Okay, Yeah, let's see if we can't get these inner portions of those leaves a little more dark to them. I'm just going to take my Egyptian violet, mix it with the asphaltum again, and pop that down. It's a nice, warm, dark there. This area too, I think, could use some of that, and it's not a glaze or anything like that. We're just also see how that covers really well. I know for some folks they have a really hard time getting things to cover in this situation, but I think it's just because they got so much paint on the brush, too much liquid on the brush, too much paint on the miniature. Less is more, and more is definitely way too much. Ah, so he did get a chance. Okay, I'm glad he at least got a chance to show it somewhere, because that was a ton of work. Just all of the brass etch stuff alone was. Speaking of cruel seas, that was very cruel. All of that brass etch stuff. Now down here, can you actually see it? Ah, there's another area we need to get some of our dark in there. We're just gonna very gently take it. We're just gonna shove that brush down in there. Made a big difference. Now here we might just do a little bit of a pin line wash right there. Again, at this point, it is the Egyptian violet mixed with the asphaltum. It just gives us a whole different color in our darks, which at this point is really important. Just given the even the length of his beard here, we need to have lots of different colors in this. I'm gonna see if I can't do another one of these brighter greens here. Now, some of this, I'm tempted to actually just use some of our flock and other things right in there to not just have a different color, but a different texture. This is the cadmium yellow light that we're using. Not using any thinner in this so that again, the paint's actually thicker here, which is why it's going to stick there. Also, we're using a bit of a stippling style brush stroke instead of brushing it on like so. No, I think I could swear I saw a couple of Facebook pictures that he threw up there of that. I know he was super happy about that one. Was it Covanter? That was the old World War I era destroyer. And what did they do? They added an extra funnel to it, I do believe, to try and disguise it. Or they took away one of the funnel. They did something. They did a bunch of things to try and disguise it. I mean, it was nighttime and all, so they tried doing a little bit of Maskarovka. Landrast, by now this must be the 7th one, right, Landrast? I mean, come on, we're 2 hours in. We painted 3 in the first 10 minutes, of course. So let's see. Well, we don't need the metal strip, but we do need a lot of this, right? The dry paint shall stick to the wet paint. That's where like the dry brushing that we're talking about. That's not really dry brushing. And we're going to be doing a little bit of that. We did it certainly on our orc last night to get some of that nice scorching and some of the rust effects there. Now let's not here. Let's wait a minute. There we go. This is one we haven't talked about here. So the Indian yellow right here, that's Indian yellow. Yeah, that was something I didn't want to learn about Indian yellow, but I ended up learning all about it. So Indian yellow, this is just we keep exploring the possibilities of this. So we did a video of it the other day, earlier this week, and we had to reuse it in a very different way than our traditional oil paints. And then we were certainly making good use of it last night here on our Orc Deathcopter. So the Indian yellow, and I mean it literally, actually let's get some of it out here. Let's get a little bit of that out here. We don't need much, but it's like, it's a super stainer. It literally is a super, oh, Campbelltown, okay. Landress has been outside cutting down tree men. A wizard should know better. Gosh, can you imagine when we actually do that? So, wow, look at how, that is a very intense yellow right now. Wow. That is very intense yellow. And we're just going to also put that on a couple of spots here. Also on his eye. And a few areas up here too. So it's not an opaque color. You have to add opacity to it. But boy, it's a staining color for sure. But not like in the same way that, say, Egyptian violet is a staining color, or even something like a indigo. It's different. But wow, I can already see that yellow in here. My goodness, that makes such a difference immediately. Makes an impact. On its own, it's just here. Let's you can see how how translucent that is. Massively translucent. Which is now I can use that and kind of paint it over his eyes. Now they have much more of a yellowish look to them. We'll go back in and hit those later, of course. Some trees are just too close to the house, but I hear, I can only imagine every time you're walking up to a tree. Like, are you actually a little orc biting, clawing, cutting axes? Right? They come with axes. They come with.
Who enters my domain?
They come with a raid. And here's Deckflow with the raid. Deckflow, nice to see you back. How the heck are you doing? Nice to see you again. Wow, we're just doing a little bit of tinting with some Indian yellow right there. Boy, that is just that is one potent color there. Let me see. So thank you so much, Deckflow, for that raid. Yes, we got Treebeard. Don't be hasty. Don't be hasty, little hobbits. So Deckflow, how are you doing? Folks, be sure to give Deckflow a follow. I want to support all of our fellow streamers here. So Deckflow, yeah, this is, well, we actually technically, we have almost enough Treebeards to make the Middle Earth version of ZZ Top. We almost have that many. This one actually was 3D printed. This is the GW one right here. So yeah, Deckflow, we had all kinds of fun last night, speaking of Indian yellow. So we painted up our Orc Deathcopter here. We based this on Thursday, and yes, those are STL supports right there, because we're starting to save those now. We're saving them. We even did the casings. Those are also STL supports there. But we had a blast doing this one last night. So we're heading back to Middle Earth here, especially with our Treebeard. Having some fun with him. Trying to build up some fun lights and middle tones. And just put my finger right here. And I'm thinking of trying to bring back a little bit more of my... see the Indian yellow, we're just kind of brushing it over the top there, and it's tinting all of that stuff. Yeah, now of course we'd have to paint all of their beards white. And now the thing is, I could sculpt sunglasses on them. They would have to be very cheap though. But we could sculpt sunglasses on them.
Spark my ganja.
Hello. Oh, thank you so much, Alex, for that follow. Hello, little hobbits. And he stepped on the little hobbits. It's like, dude, I thought they were orcs.
Spark my ganja.
I thought they were orcs. What was I gonna do? He's like, I think you smushed them pretty good. So thank you very much, Solarin, for that follow. That is appreciated. She was like, I thought they were little orcs. What was I supposed to do? Well, also, they were underneath my feet, so I stepped on them. So thank you very much for those follows. That's appreciated. This is the crazy thing with the Indian yellow. All I'm doing is just kind of brushing it on here, and it's tinting all of these colors here. It's so, and it's not like a glaze. It's not like a glaze or anything along those lines. I mean, you could, I would suggest maybe let the oils dry or something like that. So deck flow, I know that you just finished your stream and, well, you don't have Instagram pictures right now, but if you have any Instagram pictures of things that you've been working on the last few weeks or something like that, feel free to toss those into the chat. Oh, no, Sammy Poo, it has been fantastic. I wish that I was better at other languages, but even when I was actively studying other languages, the interesting thing, even well with French, I could read it, I could actually write in French, but I couldn't speak it, and I could not understand it when it was spoken to me. It was very weird. Apparently, I guess there are types of dyslexia or something like that that actually do apply to languages where you can actually literally look at the words and go, yeah, okay, I know what that means. And someone could say the words to you and you just, and all you're going to say is no capiche. That's what you're going to say. So Francis, this is the actual Treebeard miniature from GW. So this is not one that I'll be sculpting here. We will be sculpting some more tree men. Just like Altered Man, right, was having so much fun sculpting his tree beard. Now, I have to sculpt a pine tree man. We have to have a pine tree because I want a big giant cone-headed tree. That would just be way too much fun. All right, this too. Gonna see if we can't bring out some of this wood grain just a smidge here. Can you see that? I think you can. I mean, nothing fancy, but it should probably be a little bit lighter. Let's see if we can thin it down just a little bit. And get those tree rings to show up there. Oh, I'm glad, Sammy Poo, because when I looked up, what's the French word for goblin? It's a Lutin. I thought that either had to be something like lutin or something. I'm hoping that is correct. But of course, when I looked up and found that toss me was jetez-moi, I thought that's classic. We have to have that on a sign. We must have that. Well, the Indian yellow thing, I did not. I thought, okay, it's something I might use situationally here and there. Turns out it's got a lot of different uses, which is really cool. That's, again, nobody more surprised than me to find out that that Indian yellow can do a whole bunch of different things. And it's kind of neat as that sort of starter color, and then you essentially just dry brush some of the darker colors over the top of it. Now here, I did mix some of the cadmium green pale with some of the Prussian blue there. And then some of our brilliant yellow pale, just to get some of these little leaves up here that Just need a, yeah, they need to get a couple of highlights, especially these ones way up here. Again, the ones down there, maybe not so much. Ah, that doesn't have a whole lot of anything going on. Either has to be darker there or lighter. I'm going to see what happens with some darker here first. A little bit of darker there. Yeah. When in doubt, right? Make things darker. That is in the Book of Wappel. Now this has a little bit of the Egyptian violet in there. We've used a bunch of Egyptian violet to do some shading on this guy. No doubt about it. And especially the Egyptian violet mixed with something along the lines of this Fulton. Actually, Egyptian violet mixed with the umber, with the burnt umber is really a nice combo. Get you some nice, interesting, intense darks. The Egyptian violet sort of adds a little bit of a staining type of a thing, which the umber usually doesn't have. So yes, E-Tool, what was what was it? When Gandalf would show up, and he'd say, "Get into the chopper. Come with me if you want to live." And then he said, no, he's not giving Gandalf any rides. No rides for Gandalf. So this was our, we did get him on the base. We did manage to finish off all the stuffs here. So that was really fun. And again, we painted this up last night, including all the checkerboard patterns and yeah, even all the crazy spirally things and such on the nose cones. Oh, thanks E-Tool, thanks Pun Expected. That was the, I'm trying to think, okay, outside of that one Badrock figure that those guys wanted me to do as a video, I'm trying to think of the last orc that I painted, period. Acrylics or otherwise. I couldn't tell you. I could not tell you. Now, I did actually, I think it was a bunch of orc burnas that I was going to do as an army painting series because, well, you know, lots of potential making some flamey things and some object source lighting on the burner boys there. So who knows? Maybe at some point we do see something like that. What we're going to see right here is a little bit of blending brush action there, because that just kind of got a little bit astray. We're going to do the same over here too. We did put some Indian yellow over there, by the way. That's so getting the oil paints everywhere and laughing at the puppet shows. Boy, there's been a lot of the, I don't know if it's been an unusual amount of puppet shows today, but there's definitely been a lot of puppet shows today. Well, I guess, well, we've had a lot of follows today. That's what it is. Yeah, we've had about 14, 15 follows already. I think, well, those tend to generate, well, in raids, of course, those will sometimes generate those puppet shows. And actually, what was the Arnold Schwarzenegger, I think that was supposed to be the name of the orc on that bike, because I think there was a bunch of folks that were, they wanted to see him be a new character. They wanted to see a new character. Of course, I know people are waiting for Pwinkles. Trust me, there will be a Pwinkles at some point. That's the conversion using the wings that Landras printed out. That's going to be one of the May videos that I'm filming. Now, the Age of Sigmar Goblin have a lot of personality. So Hawkguts, are those the, not the Squig Hoppas and the, well, the new Fanatics, because the last new GW Goblin sculpts I saw were for, was it Skull Pass or something like that? I think it was Skull Pass, right? It was goblins and dwarves. I don't remember what the Skaven and High Elf starter box was. Don't remember. That's been too long for me to remember that. That was way too many years ago. I'm surprised they even remembered Battle for Skull Pass. I still have some of those goblins. I don't know if I think they've maybe redone the Squig Hoppers. I think they redid those since Skull Pass. Not sure what else they might have redone though. All right, just a couple little lights there on the mossy stuff. Not going to do a whole bunch because, well, that's going to get replaced with some flock. Island of Blood, holy smokes. I wouldn't have remembered that in 1,000 years, even though I also have the contents of that starter box here. So I think I'll have to, at a certain point, break out the old High Elves, as in like the old High Elves, and try and do some TMM with the interference paints on those guys, because that could be fun. Also some fairly tall aesthetic some of the mega trolls now. Yeah, they've got, I forgot they did a whole bunch more troll figures. So, okay, I thought I've seen some of those squig hoppers that I've seen. I was like, nah, those are not the old ones. I don't know how many of them they've done. What were some of the old, the little tiny goblins with the pointy hats? I mean, you would basically have a unit of like 80 of those guys or something back in the old Warhammer Fantasy days. Remember, if it has Skaven, I'll remember. Yeah, actually, I have one of the Hell Pit Abominations. He's all assembled. He's all assembled, and then I also have the Forge World. I don't know if it was an abomination or not, but it's the Forge World one that has the whatever the Skaven character riding on the back of him. I've got that one sitting around here somewhere. So yeah, just picking up a couple of highlights right here along the side of his arm. The Night Goblins. Because didn't they had the banner that had the little moon on it and stuff. Oh, then the Night Goblin Shaman or whatever. Oh my goodness, don't squeeze the Shaman. Don't squeeze the Shaman. Wow, I forgot all about those guys. It's been a long time. Oh, the Claw Lord on Broodmother. And actually, I'm really glad that I never actually was able to get around to doing those, because now I can put them on the larger oval bases. Of course, now I don't really have any of the large oval bases. I don't know, maybe I'll have to try and order some from Reaper or something like that. Because I'm pretty sure that they've got, well, I know we used it on this one right here. So this is, that's one of the Reaper oval bases that we used for our Cave Dragon right there. Now, of course, we'll have to use one of the smaller ones for the Cave Drake. Let's see, what was it? War Master on the fantasy side and Epic on the 40K side. And I suppose it was 5 armies that they did on the Lord of the Rings side. I actually did like Battlefleet Gothic. Actually, I even played, I think, 3 games of it. Definitely, yeah, they were Night Goblins for sure because they had the robes on them, right? And they all had the pointy hoods on them. Of course, then you had the Ogre Kingdoms with the Noblars, which, of course, those things came out not long after my Mimes of Moria, and those would have been perfect for the Mimes of Moria. First, they would have been plastic. Second of all, they would have, with their giant heads, boy, I could have really done a lot with those guys. So we're just putting some more light colors here, again, on the face. maybe a couple of highlights up here. I mean, it is the closest thing on him to, well, your overhead ambient light source, so maybe we should get some lights there. I think we might have to throw some more of our quick dry white out here. Let's yeah, here we'll highlight a couple of these leaves like so. This one could even these guys could use a little bit of these could actually use some darks over there, but these need some of our lights over here. And as always, you refine as much as you want to, right? Oh, there's a leaf on the end of his hand. Let's do something with the leaf on the end of his, well, finger. Well, I guess you could call it that. I don't think we want to darken that anymore, but I can see the Egyptian violet in here. We've got actually a couple more leaves. There's a couple areas here. I'm gonna go backwards a little bit here towards the Prussian blue. Oh my goodness! Don't say phthalo. Don't ever say phthalo blue around the Prussians. They are not gonna like that. A little bit into here too. Yeah. You know what? I might, just for the heck of it here, come in with a little Terra Rosa. Oh, what the heck. Let's even throw some Indian yellow in with that Terra Rosa. Let's just go crazy. And let's say, just trying to make sure that beard stands out from some of this bark here. His beard is worse than his bark. Oh, Mordheim. There was a Mordheim League, actually Armored Wolf. Do you remember the days of the Mordheim League at the bunker? There was a Mordheim League going simultaneous with 3 Blood Bowl leagues. Which, I mean, what do you do in a situation like that? You logically get rid of the store. When you have 3 Mordheim, or a Mordheim League and several Blood Bowl leagues and all kinds of active stuff going on, you close that store as soon as you can, baby. You don't want that to happen. Rach, thanks for joining us here. Thank you so much. And just go to sleep tonight thinking about all the greatest hits of Middle Earth. Because there was plenty of them. There was plenty of them. Now, I guess there's something sort of, I don't know, are some of these new ones supposed to be taking its place, I guess, in a manner of speaking? I know they've got, on the 40k side, they've got their Necromunda is back. At least I think it is. We have none of the, no. I was tempted to put a little bit of our Terra Rosa down here. No, we want to leave that for up here, especially up in this area, right? Bring the attention up to the face. Yeah, the Warcry stuff, that is the other thing that I would like to try, maybe filming some kind of a battle reports of, because we have some Warcry armies here. We have the terrain for sure. It's concise enough as far as its footprint to easily fit on camera. So that might be something that we try to get into. Especially, well, as much as I kind of like my Cypher Lords, it would be neat to have an Ossiarch warband for Warcry. I think that would be fun. Yeah, the whole John Blanche type stuff going on, right? Now, I'm going to try and sneak in a little bit of the Terra Rosa back here. We have plenty of it on this side. I would like a little bit over here. Not too much of it, though. Look at the instant impact that has. That's no lighter than what was there. All you're seeing, that whole entire difference, all that is just how warm that is. Now, this is a little bit lighter here. So you're seeing that difference. And I might let a little bit of it get out onto his arm here. So this is Terra Rosa mixed with our cadmium yellow. Deep. So kind of a transition there from a yellow to almost like an orange. And then now we're getting into almost like a cool green right next to it. All those colors, and this is your brown, right? That's your burnt umber mixed with the brilliant yellow pale, kind of a pinkish brown. Almost like a skin tone style brown. And up here, boy, I'd like to do something. You know what the heck? I'm going to take Indian yellow here. See if we can really make that kind of an orange here. And I want to see what it can do. Yeah. Okay, that has a little bit of oomph to it. There we go. Yeah, we don't want to give him red hair, but I think now a little more attention there now from that. Okay, I'm gonna bring in a little bit more of that same orange over here onto these little secondary branches. More a contrast to all those greens, right? Now, is he still doing the illustrations for GW, or has he just kind of stopped doing that for a while? I don't know. Since I don't see any of the White Dwarf stuff or any of the publications anymore, I don't know. And then there was another illustrator that did all the Blood Bowl stuff and did a lot of the fantasy illustrations too. The old Spike magazine, is that what that was called? I guess they brought that back in a way. So, ooh, this thing right here, yeah, something on that. We'll take the same orange, although we've been using it in so many areas. A lot of the greens have actually just kind of mixed in with it here. That's better. Yeah, and a bit more over here too.